Hey, Brenda.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hold on just a second. Well, that didn't work. Anyway, how's your week?
Oh, it's good.
How was the Is it Surger? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
How was the class?
it was good. Long, but very good.
Long.
Well, 3 days.
Okay. 3 days. Well, that
Yeah.
makes you an expert now.
No, it does not.
Hey, Rick.
Hey,
How are you?
good.
Just good.
Yeah.
Oh, you're back to working. Huh?
Yes. Back to work.
How does it feel?
I don't
Time for a
know.
break. So when's the sheetrock coming?
After I get the structure finished and walls built and electrical ran
Okay.
and the insulation.
Insulation. That's just
So,
3 steps. That's not far.
yeah, it's really not far. I've got a wall to build where I'm sitting, another fake wall, and another closet wall. And I think I'm done with that. And then I can start running electricity.
Cool. So,
Mhm.
what is a fake wall?
Right? That was my question too.
Or a fake build out
Non-load
wall.
bearing?
Do you see that place right here?
Yeah.
All right. See the beam that goes up and supports this?
The
Yeah.
doorway?
Well, that sticks out about 3 inches.
Okay.
Cindy wants that a flush wall,
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
so I have to build the wall out.
We just have to scab it.
Yeah, I'm debating on how to do that because it is 3 inches and studs are 3.5. So
Well, add
I
a
may
half an
rip.
inch. Add a half an inch to the other piece, Rick. Just
Well, that's what I'm saying. I could probably rip one
no. Just
since I.
take a piece of plywood, half-inch plywood.
Well, that's nice. I don't have plywood.
I bet you go past Home Depot sometime this weekend, and there would certainly be plenty of uses for half-inch plywood as this project goes along.
Hmm, maybe. Yeah, I
Save you a
think
lot of time.
I think it's cheaper and easier just to rip one.
You got to rip more than just one. You got to
Nope.
go all the way across.
The beam stud is 3 inches. My studs are 3.5. You rip a half inch and add to that, and that makes everything even.
I'm not following.
Well,
My thing was you just had a half inch.
no, it's probably backwards what we're thinking. This is 3 inches.
Right.
This is three and a
Three and a
half.
half. Okay, I got you.
This is the only thing that's standing into my way of making a flush wall.
Right.
So if I add this, and I may not even have to add anything to it, but I may do it anyway. Just rip the piece down.
Rick, I'm saying, okay. I'm saying add a half an inch to that beam.
That's what I said. Rip one
And
down.
plywood.
But I don't want to buy a $30, $40 piece of plywood just for that.
That's how much half-inch plywood is now? The cheap
Uh,
stuff?
I don't know, but I just spent 45, 44, $45 just for one 6x6 yesterday.
What's that laying on the floor there? 1x4s?
Oh, where are you looking at? Right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 2x6s.
Ah, okay.
And see, I got a table saw set up. So it wouldn't take nothing to rip an old
Sure.
piece of stud.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, a stud's free.
Nice equipment. Oh, it's not
Yep.
free.
Very, very nice.
Thanks. Well, I had to get it, so
It's
Nice
cost of
tools.
doing business. Oh,
if you're
look,
gonna
man, he's got a workshop back there.
if you're gonna do the work, you got to have the toys to play with.
That's right.
I like that workshop back
Isn't
there.
that right, seamstress?
Yeah,
What?
she just spent 3 days being an expert at serging.
That's
No,
right.
no, no. I spent 3 days learning a machine.
Well, that has to make you an expert. How many people do you know that have spent 3 days on a serger?
I don't know. It was a great class. It was a great learning experience. A little frustrating at times, only because there was some thread that she wanted us to use, and it's wool, and it's very difficult to use.
So, how difficult are Rick's Jeep seats going to be?
They're fine. Should be easy.
Actually, I've reupholstered. Remember the greenish couch we had in our living room growing up
Yes.
that had a hole in it
Yeah.
because it was burned?
Yes.
Well, when I moved out, anyway, I ended up with that couch.
You have that couch?
No, a long time ago, decades ago.
I was going to
I
say
ended.
that's a
I
75-year-old couch.
Anyway, I ended up with that couch, and so in my 20s, early 20s, I reupholstered it,
Right.
not knowing. I mean, really, not ever done that, and it turned out great.
That's really nice to know.
You have a
When are you
sofa you
coming
want her
to
to
Ashland? 'Cause I've got 3, 4, 5 pieces of furniture I need to have reupholstered.
You know, that couch was amazing because when I took off all the upholstery that was on it, all the fabric, it was an amazingly built couch.
Hmm.
do? Yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean, it was well, it was pretty. It wasn't difficult because it was certainly a box couch.
mm,
Um, the hardest part were the cushions and making sure the um, cording and everything was just right.
Cindy from her family has 2 or 3 chairs and a couch, and the upholstery is like really super heavy duty vinyl or something. And we want to get that reupholstered. And it has those great big rivets nailed in the front for decorations too.
Yeah,
And then we have one we think is leather, and it's a recliner,
now
but
that would be a little more difficult.
well, it's 2 cushions.
Oh,
It's 2 cushions built on a wood metal frame that has some type of push button that extends the legs out, because this is like 50s, 1950s, 40s. I'm not real sure. It's old.
What's that old commercial they used to have where they argued over what the name was? Chase, Child. Is that
Yeah,
what it is?
right.
I
Yeah,
don't remember that one.
that was pretty funny. It's a
Well,
Chase. It's a Child.
the neatest thing I did was, as I disassembled, took off all the old fabric to that couch, I used that as the pattern to make the new couch. I mean, to cover it again.
Yeah, you had to take it off just so you wouldn't lose your measure.
Yeah, and it worked. I mean, it was pretty easy. I mean, considering.
Hey, I have a question for you. I did our dining room chairs. There's just the seats. We
Yeah,
changed it from a fabric to a vinyl a leather looking vinyl piece, right?
yeah.
I used the same foam, and hold on, Mom's here.
Okay.
Hey, Mom, can you hear me? Mom, I'll ding you again so you can answer. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see here. There we go. But anyway, I used the same foam. Hey, Mom.
Hi.
Hey,
Speaking of
how
the
are
big
you?
box stores,
Yes, I'm in Walmart. I had to come down here across from Walmart at 9 o'clock because I got a rocking chair in the hospice thrift store, and I wanted to see if it's what I could use, but it's too big.
Oh.
oh, I'm sorry. Was
Yeah.
you use it instead of your recliner that you ordered?
No, no, I'm getting it for Paprika.
You're getting a
She,
chair for the dog that you don't like.
yeah,
You're not getting a chair. You're getting a rocking chair.
yeah, a rocker. Um, the reason I'm getting it because she loves getting that my rocking chair in the living room that was Claude's.
Yeah,
And so I thought I'd get her one and put in that room and I'll have an extra seat
you know
when she's not there.
you could probably cook roast for her once a week too. She'd probably like that.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I don't do no cooking.
You know what happens? You're gonna get that rocking chair. She's not gonna go in it because she want to go to the other one.
Right. Because it's what she's used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if I can find one reasonable, but this was way too big.
Now,
So,
back to my dilemma, Brenda. The the when we put this new covering on, all of a sudden it's not as comfortable as it was before. You can feel the board under the cushion. What and I put holes in the made sure the holes weren't covered up for the air to come out. Any thoughts on what would have caused it?
How old's the chair? How old's the foam that you
Well,
reuse?
phone's probably 8 years, 7 or 8 years old.
Um, I don't know. If so, you put holes.
Holes are
I don't.
in the base part of it. So
Right.
Talking about in the plywood.
yeah, but it was comfortable before. And all I did was just change the
Right.
covering.
The fabric. So I don't know. Other than
Should I
the
have?
foam is wearing down.
I can tell you more phone, but it just doesn't.
I
It
mean,
makes sense. It's the phone,
if
but
I were you, I would just buy one piece of foam and do one chair and see if that really is the issue.
it was
Yes.
frustrating because we didn't notice it before,
Right.
and then when we put the new stuff on, I said, "This is not comfortable."
Right.
All right. So you put a new fabric on an old foam,
Yeah.
and all you did was buy the fabric and replace it.
Yep.
Is it possible that the fabric is just a slight tad bigger than the foam, which means that the foam has been compressed in the old system to its structure, whereas the new lets it be more free, help bound.
That's a thought, Rick. But I compressed it. You're saying I compressed it too much when I put the new fabric
You
on?
made you made it you made it too tight.
That's a good possibility because that's what I was concerned with, making it tight.
Yeah.
Good thought, Rick. I'll get some new foam on one of them and see if that makes a difference.
So one of the things I was watching my show on a long time ago, my car show, one of my car shows,
Uh huh.
and I was extremely somebody out in California. I forgot what they were called, but they redid all these cars from ground up. And the upholstery guy, I used to love watching the upholstery guy. He was an artist, and
excuse me, sir. Can you tell me where the hand soap is?
It's on the other side of the store, like after the pharmacy.
The other side of the
Oh,
store.
really? Okay.
it's only a
Thank you.
football length.
I can't find nothing.
I know how you feel.
You can order it online.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's delivered now.
Forget I don't go online. I'm not that lucky.
Well, it's easy. We'll be happy to teach you sometime if you want.
Do what now?
I said it's easy. We'll be happy to teach you sometime if you want.
Somebody needs to, because I cannot find nothing in this Walmart or any other store. Claude did all the shopping. I didn't. I never shopped. I mean, not for years. I hadn't.
So you're
When he
admitting you were
retired, he
spoiled.
took over. Huh?
You're admitting you were spoiled.
Yes, I was. I liked it. I don't like shopping.
I think most of
Do
us.
not.
You think
Yeah.
what, Rick?
I think most of us like being spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I
anyway,
miss it.
that car show when they did the upholstery,
Yeah.
they actually took a grinder. They put the thickest foam in there, and they ground the foam down to contour the shape that they wanted.
Yeah.
That was amazing to me. I never knew
This
that's
was
how.
hard foam.
It's not hard. It's just foam you put in your car seats.
Oh, okay. But they used a grinder,
Yep.
like a
Yep.
like a blade.
Yeah, they took a square block and
Right. And contoured it to the
yep,
shape they wanted.
yeah,
Yeah.
they drew curved lines on it and said, "Okay,
Yeah.
that's my shape," and then they started working on it.
Yeah.
Sculpted it. Well, I knew that's what they did with the dashboards and stuff.
I said, "I didn't know that. I thought they just poured that stuff or something. I don't know."
Yeah, it's not.
Hey guys.
It gives you an appreciation for
Yeah,
why
Mom.
upholstery has some value in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mom.
Yeah. I can't push this cart and hold the phone.
You're fine.
So
Do
can
your
I
thing.
talk to y'all later?
Sure.
Yeah.
You can talk to us
And
anytime.
Rick, you can pick up the phone and call me.
Oh
Did you
yeah.
get my message, Brenda?
No. What message?
That
Well,
I can.
maybe it was an old one. It said what time you got out of church. You want to know if I was up at that time of night. It wasn't you? Huh.
It's the other
Okay.
Brenda.
Oh, the other Brenda. Okay. Well, I texted you back and told you it would be good, fine for you to call me, but I don't know where it come from. I love y'all.
Love you
Love you
too. Maybe it was
too.
one of the grandchildren.
Okay.
All right. Love you, Mom.
Do what?
I said maybe it was one of the
Bye.
grandchildren.
Yeah, maybe so. Bye bye.
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 But yeah, that's pretty interesting to know, though, Rick.
Yeah, I thought all that high dollar stuff they did was all done by a grinder and drawing ink things on the.
Yeah. So no snow today, Brenda?
No snow today, which is very nice. It snowed.
It snowed last weekend when you were traveling, right?
It was. Yeah, but it wasn't bad because it had been warm and so it melted right away. But my friend and I um, drove to Greeley together, and it was good. There were
So,
20. There were 20 people in my class,
Oh, wow.
well,
which was really good. I mean, because you have to have 20 machines in there and space to do all that.
So what kind of project did you do?
We didn't do projects. We learned the machines.
so you have one?
Do I have a machine? Yes.
You had to take your own?
Uh, yes. Yeah, I took my own, but it was a great class just to learn all the aspects of it. And what's so funny is my good friend, um, Kathy. She's been sewing for decades, and I was telling her I went to the class, and she said, "Oh, that's really good because I've been using my serger, and you probably know more than I do."
I was going to say, I'm sure that's true. Of course,
and
now you
and
need
and I learned so much. I have to tell you, it was so good.
to use it so you don't forget it, right?
Right. And so I went to this class this past week on Tuesday to do a project with the serger.
What are you gonna do?
Well, it was a tea towel, and to add fabric to the bottom of the tea towel, and so each month I will go and take a serger class to do a project. So I will use it.
So give us a feel for what would be a big project with a serger to be then.
Well, you can quilt. You can quilt with it, but most people don't, and I wouldn't. But if you were making your shirt, certainly the insides and the finishings of your shirt would be used. The serger would be used.
Putting the panels together?
Huh?
Putting the panels together?
Yeah, the different.
Like
Yeah.
this?
Yes. And so just learning how to finish things, make things look professional. Although that's not my goal, it's just that I wanted to learn.
So do you make your own clothes or what?
No, I don't. I mean, it really is cheaper for me to buy my clothes than to make them.
So
But
what you do,
but for crafts or things that I enjoy doing, um, that's why I would use the serger.
So you have a
right.
project that you're gonna do here shortly?
Um, I don't have one specifically in mind. No.
So you could do Rick's Jeep seats.
What?
You could do Rick's Jeep.
Right.
I could, yes.
Apparently she's available. She doesn't do much.
We're just
I
trying to
don't
help with
do
your
much,
skills, Brenda.
no.
Just trying to help
What?
get your skills going.
I'm just curious. When you say you do this for crafting, do you do like the tea towels and the small items and stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you do, and then you pass them along to your friends, or
Just give them away.
yeah.
Um, I mean, it's a hobby that I enjoy.
So did you make the dogs' clothes?
No.
So now, any material you can do with a serger?
I
You do the vinyls and the leathers and
um, you have to be careful of how thick it is. Um, we didn't talk about leather and vinyl. Um, we talked some about minky, which you know what minky is, don't you?
no,
So minky is
Naugahyde.
um, like blanket stuff,
Okay.
Like a fleece?
um, like fleece but much heavier. So it's like the fluffy blankets you get at Christmas and things like that in the wintertime. So those are harder to go through the machine because the machine's not industrial. Um, but you know, I really haven't. I'll have to ask about leather and things like that and vinyl to see if I'm pretty sure it can work. I'm pretty sure.
Do
I
you have,
mean, because we talked about jeans and things like that, and the double stitching and stuff like that.
So you make your own leather jeans.
No.
so so you took she gave you the wool material because it's the hardest to work with to help give you
No,
experience.
it was wool thread.
Wool thread.
Wool thread, and it's very difficult to thread the machine. And so she was showing us decorative stitches. So on the surgery, you can do a lot of decorative stitches with it. So there's called rolled hems, there's a wave hem, there's lots of things to like. If I were making a purse, I can do decorative stitches on it.
Mm,
And that's what I enjoy learning.
that's good. Could you be able to write the name Jeep in the leather in the stitching?
Yes, I could, but I'd have to do that on an embroidery machine.
See, Cindy's got a cricket,
Yes.
and I've been thinking about trying to figure out what kind of clever thing I can have her make, and so I can stick it on the Jeep like it would look like a professional sticker.
No, she could do
So
that. I mean, with cricket.
as long as you keep that Jeep parked over on that side of the house and take that picture at that time of day.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Alex,
You should send that into a magazine, buddy. That was a beautiful picture.
it was, wasn't it? Alex did a magnet for me.
Did she?
Yeah, she did
Does she have a Cricut as well?
She got Cindy's old one.
Oh, good.
So a magnet.
I gave Kristen the Joy for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's the smaller Cricut.
Right.
What do you mean
Yeah.
she did you a magnet?
She actually printed off a Jeep thing and on magnetized material, or not material, but I guess it is. But it's like you would have a sign for your car
Right.
for it's. She did that with a Cricut, which you know I
Good
don't,
for her. That's
I don't
awesome.
really know how it works, but she did it. It looked good.
So she laminated something across the magnet material, or
Uh,
It printed.
yeah, it
It's
like
printed.
you program it and it lays it out on this material.
Yeah, and it goes through the machine.
so
They're
a
pretty cool.
Cricut's a printer.
And a cutter.
And a cutter.
They can print and cut, so you can take that same material or words and actually have it cut out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Do you know the a Ritz cracker's a cutter?
What?
A Ritz cracker's a cutter.
A Ritz cracker?
Yeah, just take you know the ridges on the Ritz cracker. You know that's for cutting cheese.
No,
Did
I
you?
didn't.
I
Did you
didn't
learn?
either until this morning.
No way. Okay, that's
You roll the Ritz cracker across the cheese, and it'll actually cut it.
What
oh,
kind of cheese are you talking about?
Well, they showed it on an American a slice of American cheese. You know, like you get the
Oh,
cellophane.
so the
Okay, so
thin.
which that makes sense. Okay, then he
like
showed it. Then he showed it with a piece of Swiss cheese, real
Really?
Swiss cheese, the holy Swiss cheese. I said, I got to try this. He says, there's no way my Ritz cracker is going to hold up to that.
Right?
So we'll find out. I'll try. I'll send you a text later.
American cheese I can actually see, but other cheese I would go,
I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Oh,
all I can tell
you should record it and send it to us. Your experiment.
Well, you know, I'll send you the YouTube of this other guy doing it. But then, yeah, I'm going to try it too. Who knew?
Right?
Anyway, this guy evidently has a YouTube channel on things we did that they don't tell you that they should have told you, and that is that's why Ritz cracker has ridges.
I didn't know that.
Well, I've challenge accepted. I will go. The other thing I saw this morning that I haven't tried, and it's probably bogus, but they took you know what a Bic lighter is, just a little
Yeah,
plastic Bic lighter. They took a Bic lighter and on the corner of the molding and the sheetrock on the doorway,
Yeah.
they rubbed it up and down, and it stuck.
rub what up and down.
Just took and back and forth right in the corner of it. Rubbed the
What? Your
lighter
your
up and down. Rubbed the Bic lighter up and down against the wall in that joint, and let go, and it stuck. So I
what's
got to try it.
What was the molding?
Just wood molding,
Just a wood molding in it.
a regular old doorway.
So,
And
but it must be the plastic. It's not the gas inside of it.
unless the gas inside of it helps the plastic, what's a static?
Maybe. I don't know. That's an interesting. Send me the YouTube on
Like,
that one. I want to
that's
see
like,
that one.
yeah, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
But you know, of course, I've watched these YouTube videos, and I've tried them, and they're bogus. You know, the one
Yeah,
about pulling the dent out of your car with
right?
the frozen with the
Plunge.
CO2. That's
Oh,
bogus. That don't work.
how's that work?
Supposedly you get something with the canned air in it, turn it
Yeah,
upside down, spray it uh, on the dent, and it'll
yeah.
pop out.
So jealous. So jealous.
Didn't
really?
do it for me.
I still use plungers.
You know,
Right?
this thing I don't know about they say if you put your key up under your neck when you're trying to find your car, that it'll give longer distance on opening the door.
Oh no, I don't believe that. Yeah, I
But
believe.
yeah.
I believe you're putting your neck out on that one.
They wanted to see you walking through the lot like this, right?
Yeah.
That's me.
The sun is bright today, huh?
Yeah. And I'm sitting in the chair. I may fall through on my butt. It's an old metal chair. And I sat down and it popped a little. And I'm like, oh, crap.
Is that the one we have a picture of Thea in from 20 some years ago?
No, this shouldn't be. No, we got this at the house. This is one of those.
That's right. Is that your house? It's in your carport.
No, this is at the old house.
Oh, the old house. Okay. Ooh,
Oh,
Rick, that looks like it's something.
right?
So it's the old metal chairs. If
It's
you're
rusted.
and that's just a fungus.
Patina.
Yes, patinas and things I got to do.
Your list is never ending, huh?
Yeah, things I got to burn. Things I got to do. My bucket
But,
list.
well, you'll never get bored.
So on a chair like that, would you sandblast it?
Yeah, it depends on your money. I mean,
Well,
you make a spray, but actually, I'm always skeptical of this stuff. They make a spray that you spray on, and then you kind of scrub it down, and it'll come off. We hose it down, and Cindy got it and brought it home. Now we have other chairs up at the house, and it actually worked.
Really?
It actually worked. I was like, dang, man. Because I was out there with
That saves a lot of time.
I was out there with a wire wheel and a drill,
Right.
yeah, then you take, that's the danger in that is the thin pieces of metal get even thinner.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, she brought it home and sprayed it on there, and it worked. I was like, oh, we're using this the rest of the time.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
So,
I saw where of course the chair's too big for it, but they use electrolysis. Maybe that's how you say it.
you could, like stick a battery on it.
Yeah, but
I,
put it in water. Put it in
I, I,
water.
oxidize or ionize or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the rust will just fall off of it
Yeah.
into the water. Yeah, it works pretty well for a hammer, but hammer's a lot smaller than a chair.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Rick, you going to be there all day?
I think so. I'm going to have to stop here pretty soon because I got to go out and mow the 4-inch lawn.
The 4-inch or the 40 acre?
4-inch tall grass in the 40-acre field. And then I got a tree limb because it's apparently these Bradford pears are notorious for breaking. So it's about ready to break over my driveway.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Sure did look pretty in that winter picture, though.
It does, man. I'll be glad when they're gone, though. I mean, it's really awesome, but I'll be glad when they're gone. They really are a terrible. The best thing, if you're going to get a pear, get a Cleveland pear.
Mhm.
Cleveland player?
Cleveland pear.
I didn't even know Cleveland had pears.
Yep, it's round. It's not like an oval.
Okay.
What are your plans, Tom, for the weekend?
Well, I mowed 80% of the yard last night, so I need to finish it sometime today. And then I got some work I want to do for the coming week, and I think that's it. We
What about
Brooke is in Italy, so we're watching for her photos as they come across.
Oh, good.
It's almost like looking for an AP report, Associated Press. Pictures come across.
And
But
you have Dax
we have
and the cat,
Dax and Gus.
Gus.
Yeah, it's a full house here. Yeah, that's the other thing. I had to vacuum today. I had to vacuum every day.
From the hair?
Twice a day. The robot vacuum does one run, and then I'll do another run. Yeah. And that's
and
not
is
even
that
including the hair on the furniture where they sleep. That's just the floor.
Now, see, I don't have to
I
do
know.
the vacuum because of hair. I have to do it because of the mulch they track into my house. Because the area that they go potty in has mulch, and they get mulch in their paws and on their hair.
Yeah, you
Once
need
you
a
start that out,
long runner at the door that they need to stay on as they walk in, right?
Well, I have a nice long runner at the door, but it's just they track it everywhere.
I know.
It's
Well,
just
our cats go to the kitty litter, and we got a nice long runner through the bathroom away from the kitty litter, and it still ends up out in the hallway.
right, right.
But the runner does catch a lot, you know.
Well, my runner does as well, and my front door um, mat catches quite a bit, but I still have it all over the floor. So I go to a soccer game this afternoon and football game tomorrow for Grayson.
oh, cool.
Grayson's playing in both.
Yeah, he's doing both.
Wow.
Amy accidentally signed him up for both.
How's he feel about it?
Oh, he's having fun. I mean, he's a boy, so being busy and playing is good times.
Now, is the football field like the soccer field at his age? It's just like a little herd running through.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody still stays together.
Actually, soccer they're doing better. I mean, the age is 6, 7, maybe 8. I don't know. They're doing better. I mean, football is the same too. You can tell the kids who have had dads or have come up playing the sport. But it's fun to watch. It really is fun. And it's so funny because I get there and I'll wave at Grayson and he'll wave, and then Amy or Justin, Grayson, pay attention.
Well, hopefully you don't have any of those. It's a little too young to have some of those parents, but as Brooke got older, I mean, some of those parents were obnoxious.
Yeah.
Running up, running up and down the field with them. They're not supposed to do that. You'd say something to them, then they get really obnoxious.
Yeah. We had that when my kids were older, but you can tell the dedicated or serious coaches, and they're normally the coaches with the kid on the team, and they're so serious and really yelling at the kids and really want the kids to learn and everything, and I think there's a place, but I think there's a time for them to play. So it's just
Right. Yeah, there's time for. We've been on many of those where the you know, most of the coaches. I don't know if one coach didn't uh, in some way affect, but those coaches are serious. We had one in our early years that was continuously getting thrown off the field. The coach,
yeah.
She was
and then
passionate, huh?
we had a stand full of parents that they got in an argument, and I think they had to call the law on them.
Uh
Yeah, they got pretty serious.
oh.
You
The only
notice, you notice that the kids also reflect the parents and the coaches. So we have teams where the kids are just obnoxious, mean, and
right.
stuff. That's exactly how the parents are, yelling obnoxious stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy having to deal with that stuff.
So when we lived in Louisiana, we put Ryan on a baseball team, and I have to say it was the worst experience, but it taught us a lot. I mean, because they are serious about baseball,
Hmm.
and the parents were serious about baseball, and the coach, because it put so much pressure on these little kids to pitch and to pitch well. And
Yeah,
I'm just going, he went through the entire team, and every child that was on that team, including Ryan, ended up crying coming off the field because and I went, my son doesn't need to do this. And it was just not a sport, or not at that time, a sport
well,
for Ryan.
in Ashley's early years, there was an all-star game where on all-star games, there's usually the select coach that won the season or whatever that coaches the all-stars. Well, this particular coach was coaching kids, right? And these are all kids that are brought together that play different positions.
Right.
Normally, you try to keep them in their same position. Well, he wasn't doing too well against another team, so he took the team and started flopping them around every play, infield, outfield, catcher, pitcher, the whole bit. He was moving them constantly because if they made one mistake, he'd move them. And I was one of those parents. When they got done, Cindy told me, she said, to this day, she says, we almost ended up divorced because I went out on that after the game was over. I went up to the coach and I said, "You are the absolutely the worst coach I'd ever seen in my whole life. I hope we never have you again." And I was furious, but I had parents behind me too because we were all pissed because they was like, you know, the other kids, you played with them all year, and if you put them in an unfamiliar place, they're not going to do well.
They're,
And
right. They're,
the whole
yeah.
time, and it was dangerous too because because they don't know how to react. But yeah, that was my bad parent time.
Well, is that now? Is Alex done with coaching, and she decides she doesn't want to do that anymore?
Well, when she took on school
Yeah.
and the job at third shift
Well, I
working,
understand she can't do it now, but I'm asking: is she going to go back to it at some point?
not sure. We'll find out after she starts day shift, which starts the 7th.
Oh, cool.
So what?
I'm really happy. She starts day shift for the first time in 4 years to be on day shift
Starting when?
the 7th of May.
Yay! Yay!
So she graduates
Full time
Are
day
they
shift.
are they going to give
full
her her
time.
graduation day off?
She already had it. When she transferred, she already had requested days off, so she maintains that. They can't take
Oh,
that.
good.
So she had that off. And so, yeah, she gets to graduate and go to days.
Oh,
Tell her we say congratulations.
yes, absolutely.
So
Oh,
what? She's rather young to be going to days. Is this what precipitated this?
uh, because of the hospital is a terrible hospital, she's one of the senior people.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow. Well, I hope it's a good move and good supervisor and
Uh,
everything for her.
Yeah, there's a
right.
key phrase there. Good supervisor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really hope that it works out well for her because I know that she's built in her DNA for days, and working nights was really rough for her to have to go to nights and then turn around and she'd wake on her days off. She'd wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning naturally. So she's definitely a day person. I just think it was bad for her health having to deal with that all the time.
Yeah.
But to Brenda's point, the fact that there's been a lot of turnover there, she may end up having to spend some time figuring out how to handle her boss,
Right. How to effectively. Work.
Yeah, and
minimize her angst.
that's correct. Mostly that comes from the doctors, though.
Okay.
Oh, well, and so we just hope that she's able to build a good rapport with them
Yeah.
so that they appreciate her. So,
So far, from what she has told us, the rapport has been good. She had a response from a guy that she says is an asshole, who I know his father. He works on Dad's guitar,
Oh,
and
really?
said he is super anal, super anal. Is always in
Right.
a bad mood, and he works days. And he complimented her on her ability, her smartness, so to speak, saying you really need to take this course whether you use it or not. I think you should take the course, which is oncology, and then other supervisors and stuff have complimented her on stuff, saying you'll be fine. She's had a huge apprehension about this, going to days because of the stress level,
right.
because there is way more stress today.
Well, and so much more to do during the day to just even with people visiting.
Right.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
there during the day, not at nighttime. They just leave him.
Right.
you know,
So yeah, that's a. So she, I think she's ready for it.
the a large most of the people I work with, they leave a job because they don't like their boss. If they
Yes,
like their boss, it's not. It really takes some compelling circumstances to get them to leave. All right. Um, and in fact, one time early on, I recruited this guy, and we were about to make him an offer, and he calls me up and he says, "Tom," he said, "I got some bad news." He says, "I just got promoted." And I said, "Oh," and his current job. I said, "Well, congratulations." I said, "What's going on?" And he told me, and I said, and when I first talked to him, he told me that he loved his current boss, but his boss's boss was horrible. Now, I had recruited him for it was a promotion, yeah, so to speak. So anyway, as he's telling me this story, his boss had been promoted somewhere else, so he was getting his boss's job. And I said, "Well, Ben," I said, "I'm a little
no,
curious now." I said, "Ben, who are you going to be reporting to?"
Right.
And there was this long pause on the other end, and he said, "Great question." I guess he hadn't thought about it.
Oh,
He
wow.
was so thrilled with getting the promotion, he hadn't thought about who he was going to be working for. So it was a good lesson for me. And make sure you just listen, and then ask some good questions. But he ended up going. He ended up leaving to go to work for the job we recruited him for.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
wait for her job.
For her job, what, Rick? I'm sorry, you broke up.
There's a lot of turnover.
Yeah. Well, we gathered that when you said that she's now mostly senior.
Yeah.
So,
No, there is some people have been there years.
but
Uh,
that's an opportunity if she can figure out how to work in that environment and handle. If she becomes a master at handling those people correctly,
Yeah.
yeah,
the way one of the ways she looks at it, you get your job in your work life stuff, or you can struggle with your job a little bit after your work. It's great, and that's the health thing I'm talking about. I think she's really struggling with this sleep deprivation of
sure,
trying to get. She it's just super struggles trying to get rest, and I think she's at the point where she's willing to fight through whatever she has to fight through so she can be rested and
right.
feel about herself.
Well,
Well,
my point
and
is,
she's going to learn so much by dealing with different personalities, and I mean, she's going to grow a lot.
yeah,
So,
this is how good politicians are born, not the bad ones, but the good ones.
right.
Yeah, and she's going to know some people on the floor
Yeah,
that
Oh, that,
that
and that's what I was trying to say. It's an opportunity.
it is.
There's a reason that people cycle through. That means there's an opportunity there, and it might not be something she wants to deal with, but if she can learn how to navigate it, probably
yeah.
a really good thing.
I'm really because I think for her health it's
Yeah.
great because I do worry about her sleeping.
Yeah.
That's she's all turned around on sleep and eating.
Yeah. Well, it'll be good for her. Tell her congratulations, okay?
Yeah, please.
But
So how's the wildlife around her house?
she's still watching the bobcat.
You know, there was a video this week on the news, and they said it was a bobcat that got stuck in the grill of a car. Did you see this?
No,
Well, and the first
Yes.
responders came out and
Yes.
they took him out of the grill. It
Yes.
was
And
no
had to throw
bobcat; it
him
was a
in
mountain lion.
mountain lion threw him into the back of a truck.
Yeah, but they were saying on the news it was a bobcat.
Right.
And,
And it was a mountain lion.
yeah, I was going to say that's no bobcat.
Right.
I don't know where they get these
It got
journalists.
into the grill of a truck, a grill
Yeah,
of a car.
yeah, he was easily 80 pounds, Rick. So,
and
Right.
and they pulled him out
yeah,
alive.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, they got one of those neck things. I assume this was a animal rescue, whatever
Yeah.
person. They got the noose around him, and they were able to pull him out, and then they just flipped him into the back of a pickup
Right?
truck.
Right? It
Well,
was big.
my interesting feat was this recently was I pulled up the driveway and there was a 6 foot black snake laying in the driveway.
Yeah,
So I eased the car up and I looked down at it, opened the door and looked down at it. And he got startled. So he took off
yeah,
under the car
under the
and
car.
under the car. And I thought, oh, I'll get him. So I got out and I went to go grab him. Well, he got under the car. Cindy said he went straight up into the car.
Well, this
Oh
is the one you had to
no.
pull out from the
Oh
engine cavity.
no.
Yeah,
No. No.
So I pulled this thing. He went up under the car and I finally found him. I had to take covers and pieces off. He had got up at the transmission part. So I reached my hand up in there and tried to get him and he took off again. This time he went up into the fender. And
Oh my goodness.
from the fender, he went up into, where your windshield wipers are?
yeah,
There's a vent usually up there.
right.
Right.
He went up halfway into that and halfway into the fender.
Oh my gosh.
So I took the plastic inner fender out, loosened it up so I can look up in there. And sure enough, I grabbed his back end and started. I couldn't hardly pull him. So they got the water hose. My brother-in-law and them got the water hose and started spraying the front end of him. So he finally released because he had such a grip. And I pulled him back out.
Well,
Oh my,
6 foot snake going to be a pretty strong snake.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came down. I went up Reed Mountain one time with Mike Jennings and the Kowalski guy. I forget what his first name. Anyway, on the way down, we were running down the fire trail,
Yep.
and you could see up ahead that there was something laying across the trail. And, initially, I guess we thought it was a branch or something. As we got closer, we realized it was a snake. And it was a black snake. And Mike Jennings got so freaked out, he ran back up the mountain. He was hysterical.
Oh no.
What?
Honestly, I don't know what it was that caused him to be hysterical, and it was just a black snake.
Yeah.
And of course, by the time we got Mike calmed down, the snake was gone. But it's just
Wow.
That's funny that you mentioned that because Reed's Mountain, I remember after you got older and I started riding my bicycle, me and Mike Quarles used to push our bicycles up that mountain
get out of here
all the way up to the fire tower. And
and
then
then
we'd
ride
ride them
down.
and we'd ride down. And we were going so fast down that we took and marked the trees so we can count them.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, and then you'd have to maneuver or something. And the reason we started doing that is because going up, there was a log going across the path.
right.
Coming down, that same log was rotted with the ground, so to speak, so it looked just like the ground. So it's a log coming up, about, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches, but when you're coming down, it looks just like the ground.
Yeah.
Oh
Split
wow.
it in. And I hit that thing coming down and I was airborne. I just threw my bike and landed on my backside and rolled down the hill ways. And that's
I,
when we decided to mark the trees so we can count them and say, okay, here it is.
How
well,
old were you?
I don't remember, man.
probably 14, 13, 14. 15. But, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty smart. I never would have done that.
Right? Right? I
Yeah.
don't know that I've
That's
done
just
that either.
that's thinking way too far ahead. That's
Right?
a lot of work to ride those bicycles down. Plus,
Counting.
that's pretty amazing. You didn't tear that bike up. I mean,
Right?
people spend thousands of dollars now for mountain bikes to do that.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was 2 hours to go to the top
2 hours?
for us to push to the top.
And 5 minutes to go down.
5 minutes. It was steep and fast.
Yeah,
Oh
I mean, it was
wow.
all steep. Yeah.
I'm glad you are living to tell the tale.
Yeah, they had motorcycles that used to ride up there, man.
So what?
And those dirt bikes used to go up there
Never
on that,
saw
and they had dirt bikes from there. We were, for the most part, beating some of those dirt bikes coming down the hill.
Wow.
them. Never saw a
Wow.
dirt bike up there when I was doing it. That's interesting. Yeah, we used to take mine and go on the the power lines, the high power lines, particularly along 81. We would go through there, but that was a lot of fun. Huh?
Was that Yamaha tagged with a street tagged in, or
Yeah,
how'd that?
everything I had was street tagged. Yeah, but I had the Yamaha and I had the Honda. The Honda's the one somebody stole. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't remember what I did with the Yamaha. I guess I sold it to somebody.
Well, I know that Kathy hit in the back when you was driving it. That's when
She
you
did
bought
do
it.
that. She did do that, and she was supposed to keep other people from hitting me,
Yep.
But I guess we needed a better communication system.
Funny how brake lights don't work sometimes.
I said the brake light's not working. Don't let anybody hit me. Well, she didn't let anybody hit me.
Except her.
Except her. She had the first option.
Right.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
this has been fun, but I gotta go. I gotta
Me too.
get ready to mow that yard.
Okay.
Hope you guys have a good weekend.
You as well. Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Talk to you
Bye.
later.